There's Matterport, and then there's Matterhorn. Man, that transition's quick. So today we have a story about people outside of real estate learning about real estate, and that's always a good thing, I think. Specifically today, talking about the Matterport cameras, which are basically cameras that allow you to do 360-degree video tours of your properties. And I just wanted to go over an article because about, I guess about 2 years ago, I started investing in, figuring out we needed to do 360 tours for my listings because you don't always want to physically show the house after someone's seen it. So let's say on the seller side, I'll do the video, but then if people want to lurk online and go on the 360 tour, that's good. I mainly did it for my sellers because, what are you doing for your commission? Are you just, do you talk a good game, or do you actually do things for your clients? Do you actually pay for professional photographs? Do you actually pay for like 360 tours, professional video? I mean, what are you doing to sell the house? And that's true with any market. And I feel like we stack up pretty well with those other folks. And certainly even now in St. Louis, on the high end listings, people will do Matterport, but it's still not widely enough utilized, in my opinion. So anyway, I just wanted to get to the article. This is out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Headline says, one tool changing how people buy homes in the Intermountain West. Matterport cameras, digital walkthroughs lead to sight unseen sales. Now, this is true, but as we've talked about, it's probably not best to buy a house sight unseen. Now, how these people get around it is usually they go and they have the inspection clause in the contract that says, well, I have the opportunity to inspect the house, and if we can't come to an agreement on repairs, then I'm out. There's all kinds of ways out of a real estate agreement. So that's not really this strategy, though. This strategy is more for people that are living in different states that want to buy a property. In this particular case, not many people are in Jackson Hole as much as people are from maybe California and they're looking for a place to move. So I just wanted to go over this with you. It says 55% more homes sell if their listing boasts a virtual walkthrough. And just on that stat alone, guys, think about it. Right now, what house isn't selling? And doesn't matter if there's a virtual walkthrough or not. I mean, it's a statistic that cannot be, guaranteed. So anyway, it talks about a Matterport camera. There's a bunch of different kinds. We'll just say Matterport. It's kind of like Kleenex is a type of tissue. So then, in this article, the Matterport system was already in use before the pandemic, but when COVID-19 appended the standard Realtor open house, the camera took a tour instead. And like many of the pandemic prompted technology adoptions, the new system appears to be here to stay. My own personal opinion is that's false. We were moving in that direction anyway. It had nothing to do with the pandemic. And now I can't advertise this particular video on YouTube, so that's annoying. Anyway, most unseen sales are contingent on an inspection, meaning the buyer can back out once they actually come to Jackson Hole to see the house. So this is what I was talking about, is even if you buy a house unseen, there's a way to get out of the deal if you have to. But it says these unseen sales are happening on a smaller scale, but it's also an emerging trend. So, this particular example is a $12 million home, but not really in that market right now. Don't really have any $12 million homes that I'm listing. So anyway, you go through it. This gets a little bit a little bit too much. It says pretty soon you'll be able to have your home bought and decorated with the click of a button. In a world where online shopping has expanded to cars and groceries, brokers say it's only fitting that houses should follow suit. Talking like, you know, the Jetsons were what, in 1960, and they all had jets. Where's my jet? Where's my jet car? It's the same thing. So anyway, that's the article. A reporter found Matterport, and you know they're using it. So you know, I had thoughts, I had questions, and I wanted to go over them with you. I also wanted to do things in the right way, so we're going to go here. And my thoughts. So Matterport is reserved for higher end homes out west. We don't use Matterport, but we do 3D tours online. To be honest, we don't really get many people using the service. Most still prefer to physically go to the houses for a private showing. And so, you know, in St. Louis, if you're moving here, maybe you're using Matterport, but if you're already here, you're going to go on a personal tour. As I've said before, down at the lake, if you want to buy a condo or something down there, then Matterport comes in handy, or 360 tour. So it just kind of depends on the type of destination. You know, like if you're doing a second home, Jackson Hole, Wyoming makes sense as a second home to you. That does make sense. So it says, by the time, in the article it says, by the time those clients call a real estate agent, they've put hours of research into buying the home that they want to purchase. And I don't think that's true at all. 99% of clients are working with a realtor before they even start looking at homes. Also, in this market in particular, it would be stupid to put hours of research into the home they want to purchase, because it would be sold before you ever get to the showing. So, you know, I have my podcast on Mondays between 6 and 8 Central Time, and we spend part of the time looking at listings all across the United States. And we look at virtual tours. And, but we don't sit there and obsess over like one particular house. We're doing it for fun. And if you're going to go buy a house, you're probably going to want to see it still. So I don't think if you're looking for a place to buy a house, I don't think you're spending hours on a virtual tour. I think you're actually going to the house. Or if you do spend hours on the virtual tour, then just know that that's the best the house can possibly look at that time. And the article says, but there's also a fear that the captivating digital tours will cut out the need for a realtor. And this is interesting. So if you're of the belief already that technology is going to get rid of realtors altogether, this statement would kind of contribute to that. You'd say, oh, well, you know, this is why your guys are going to get cut out. But what I personally see is the same thing I've always seen, is people outside of real estate saying things like agents are too expensive and agents are not great. But when you are in the industry and know the millions of ways clients can be taken advantage of, you don't worry about agents being replaced by technology anytime soon. So, yeah, I mean, someday, I mean, are we going to be like typewriter repair people, or blacksmiths, travel agents? Maybe, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, especially when people know the value that you bring to the deal. Another quote said, the Matterport is ultimately just one new tool in the realtor's toolbox to give buyers a better sense for their future home. It follows the rise of drone photography and the more recent interior drone tours. And it falls in line with other technology like 3D interior design software that lets clients place virtual sofas in their mocked-up living rooms. So Matterport cameras aren't new, and I'm not sold on drone photography and tours really having that big of an impact. It just depends on the situation. For many, it's not all that enjoyable to see a picture of a roof. So what I've talked about when I've showed people on my live stream is just, you know, here you're say you got a 1,500 square foot house, and the lot's maybe 50 feet wide, and now we're gonna show a roof shot from a drone, like the second picture of the house. Like, do we really care about? And then you say, well, you could tell the condition of the roof. Yes, but again, like, you're not buying the house because of the roof. You're not buying it because of one single component. So there are trends, and you, as a real estate agent, you have to be up to date on the trends and what's happening in real estate. And so with the technology, you know, we get sold a lot of technology that's totally worthless and doesn't make any sense, you know, 4 years from now. But at the time, sellers are looking for this product or buyers are looking for this. They've heard from somebody else that this product is so wonderful. I can remember here in St. Louis, maybe a year ago, one of the bigger agents was advertising that they would give you an iPad during your home search, not to keep, just so that you can look at homes. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of strange. So, will drone photography, be a core part of real estate listings? Maybe. Will the Matterport be a core part of it? It is on mine. I'm doing 360 tours for the rest of my time, just because it just makes, like I said, it distinguishes you from some pretenders. Some other agents go in there with an iPhone and taking 4 pictures and calling it a day. I mean, you're going to beat that guy every day of the week. Another quote is, if you're an out-of-town buyer, property could come on that morning and have 3 offers by that evening. So if you're not in Jackson, how do you decipher exactly what's for sale and move in and move alter quickly? The only way is with a virtual reality tour. And this is correct, okay? The majority of 360 tours are going to be out-of-town buyers, as it has been. There's been nothing new that says like, oh, well, everyone's going to just flock online and we're just going to look at virtual. I mean, I'm already in trouble with saying the word pandemic. So, with the pandemic, did the virtual tours make a difference? Not really. I mean, I still showed tours physically to people the whole time. So, it's one of those things where it was kind of convenient for the article. And then there's another quote. It says, I want buyers to really experience how a house feels, and Matterport goes a long way to achieving that goal, but there's nothing as good as a FaceTime video. This was another agent. And there it is. Okay, buyers know that 360 videos are produced just like the listing photos. So, we stage the 360 shoot just like we staged the listing photos. I guarantee you, let's just say in St. Louis, if there's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, okay, maybe one of those bathrooms doesn't show up on the virtual tour, just like it doesn't show up in the photos. And why do you think that is? Well, that's going to be because no one wants you to see the crappy bathroom that's in the house before you actually go see it. So just know that it's staged. But while the buyers know that the 360 videos are produced, they want to see things the camera doesn't show you. So they ask their agents to take a video of the house on their own. So I'm just trying to point out the difference. The Matterport and the other 360-degree tour cameras and software are for the listing, okay, for the seller. FaceTime videos, in-person showings, etc., are for the buyer. There's essentially 2 distinct styles of using the technology based on where you are in the transaction. And to me, that's key. I mean, if you're a buyer, are you looking at the 360 tour? Maybe once or twice. But it's not even close to saying to your agent, hey, would you go shoot a video of this house? Because that way the video can show things that's not produced. From the article, it says one of their first virtual realty tours had 120 views, and 100 views were from the same woman after she had already bought the Teton Village property. It turned out she was touring each day with her contractor to plan their remodel. And this is true of every video and photograph you take of a property. People can use it to document what was there before they moved in, which is why I've always tried to have an accurate listing in my photos so that there isn't any deception for people who buy a home, and when they go move in, it's completely different than the home they thought they bought in the pictures. So, a lot of time goes by between when you put an offer in and it gets accepted to the time that it closes, 30 days or more. And so you may have thought as a buyer, hey, wasn't there a chandelier in this room? Where did the chandelier go? Well, now you can go back and look at the pictures and say, oh, there it is. Or it's not there. It didn't exist there either. That's why I try to do listings, completely accurately, so that we don't run into these issues down the road of, oh, that was different. That was different. One of the things I've noticed is people change out their appliances. So they'll take their appliances with you, and maybe they bought a house, so they put the crappy ones in the house that they just sold. It's kind of funny if you look at the pictures and then you got 2 different, that's shenanigans. But when you document this stuff in 360 video, regular property tours, the listing photos, I mean, people can use that and come after you. So in closing, you know, I'm definitely not against any technology to either help a seller sell their home or help a buyer in making a decision to purchase their home. With that being said, even with wonderful camera tech we have today, it's still nothing like physically visiting a property for sale. And as an example, when I watch car shows on TV, even in 4K, I can't really tell the quality of the paint's finish unless I'm physically looking at it. Or the camera points out the issues with the paint. So, you know, they talk about a 50-foot paint job. It's the same thing. I don't know until I actually get that close up to the paint. And the same thing's true with houses. There's just much more information that you pick up when you see a home in person. If you are in a situation where you have to buy a home sight unseen, 360 video tours are much, much better than anything we've ever had in the past. As long as you understand the limitations, you should be fine. Understand that if at all possible, private showing is the best way to really understand what the house is about before you decide to write an offer. So we'll go to the word of the day. The word of the day today is peregrination. That means a journey, especially a long or meandering one. And in a sentence, it's the realtor worked closely with their clients on their peregrination to find the perfect home. So what do you think? Leave me a comment below. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I will catch you on the next one.